Stay with me here, for what I'm about to tell you has the power to change the way you live your life. You are mortal, and this mortality is not just a distant reality, but a present truth that shapes every moment of your existence. The ancient wisdom of memento mori, or remembering death, has been a cornerstone of philosophical reflection for centuries, and it's a concept that I'd like to explore with you today. As you go about your daily life, it's easy to forget that your time is limited. You wake up every morning, assuming that you'll live to see the evening. You make plans, set goals, and strive for achievements, often taking your own existence for granted. But what if you were to remember, every day, that your life could end at any moment? Would you live differently? Would you prioritize differently? Would you love more deeply, or let go more easily? The Stoics, in particular, were fond of reminding themselves of their own mortality. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, would often reflect on the impermanence of all things, including himself. You could leave life right now, he writes, and this is the part that nobody tells you. If you don't plan your thoughts and actions with this possibility in mind, you'll be gone before you know it. This awareness, he believed, was essential for living a life of virtue and purpose. But the idea of memento mori stretches far beyond Stoicism. The ancient Greek pre-Socratics, like Heraclitus, saw the flux of life and the inevitability of death as a reason to cultivate humility. No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man, he said. Our lives are constantly in motion, and our sense of self is fragile and ephemeral. The Epicureans, on the other hand, took a more hedonistic approach, arguing that the awareness of mortality should actually lead us to enjoy life more. The greatest wealth is to live content with little, Epicurus wrote, for there is no limit to the amount of wealth one can accumulate. But even here, the emphasis was on living simply and authentically, rather than indulging in excessive pleasures. As you reflect on your own life, I'd like to ask you, what would you do if you knew you had only a year left to live? Would you change your job, your relationships, your daily habits? What would you prioritize, and what would you let go of? Pause for a moment and think about this. Share your answer with me in the comments below. The medieval Christian tradition also placed a strong emphasis on memento mori. Saint Augustine, in his Confessions, wrote about the importance of remembering death as a way to cultivate humility and contrition. The memory of death is a great leveler, he said. It brings us back down to earth and reminds us of our true condition. Thomas Aquinas, too, saw the awareness of mortality as a key to living a virtuous life, arguing that it helps us to prioritize what truly matters. Now, I'd like to challenge you. What do you think about this, that remembering your own mortality would lead to a more authentic and meaningful life? Or do you think differently? I read every comment, tell me below. In modern times, we've lost much of this emphasis on mortality. We tend to push death to the periphery of our consciousness, avoiding it in our conversations and our media. But this avoidance comes at a cost. When we forget our own mortality, we can become complacent and entitled, taking our lives and our relationships for granted. So, how can we apply this ancient wisdom to our modern lives? For one, we can start by acknowledging the impermanence of all things, including ourselves. We can take time each day to reflect on our own mortality, whether through meditation, journaling, or simply taking a walk in nature. We can prioritize what truly matters to us, letting go of distractions and superficial pursuits. As you go about your day, I'd like to ask you to this is important. How often do you find yourself caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past? How often do you take your own existence for granted? Write this down. What are the things that you would prioritize if you knew your time was limited? The modern world, with its rapid pace and technological distractions, can make it difficult to cultivate this kind of awareness. We're constantly bombarded with information, much of it trivial or irrelevant. But here's what nobody tells you: the most important things in life are often the ones that are hardest to see. The quiet moments, the stillness, the beauty of nature, these are the things that can help us remember our own mortality and live more authentically. Join us every week for more reflections like this one, and you'd like to explore more ideas like this, consider subscribing to our channel. We'd love to have you join our community of quiet thinkers. As we come to the end of this reflection, I'd like to leave you with a final thought. Remembering death is not about being morbid or obsessive, it's about living with humility and intention. It's about recognizing that every moment is precious, and that every decision has consequences. Which of these lessons resonated most with you today? Let me know below. I read every single one. And as you go about your day, I invite you to pause, reflect, and remember, your life is precious, and it's fleeting. What will you do with it?